Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I want to start off by saying that any and all thoughts and opinions are just that, thoughts and opinions. In no way am I sharing professional advice when it comes to physical and mental health. These videos are simply for fun and to provide my thoughts on the topic. Do not send any hate to anyone I talk about, and please be kind in the comments. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome. We're going to get back into more Ember and Reed content today. Just a quick heads up, this is the I'm traveling and the Nikocado Avocado situation video. I also have a fan in the background because it is a bit warm and I need it on. I am honestly just dripping sweat right now. So as gross as that is, I just want to get straight into the video.
Hello, welcome to a new vlog right now.
I was about to say hello, Amber, and that's because I've been watching the ankle way too much lately. I've been catching up on all of his videos for the past week because I haven't just watched any reaction channels. I needed a break, but now all I can think about is Jordan's reactions.
Now I do have some laundry going, and sometimes that washer and dryer can get super loud. Can we please do a throwback of when I first moved in here? I didn't get to use my dryer for 6 months because they took forever to fix it, so I had to literally use a different unit.
I do understand the annoyance of paying for something and not being able to use it because they're taking forever in order to actually fix the problem. That being said, a lot of people have to go to a laundry mat, and sometimes that requires them to go across town in order to go to. I know people who have had to do that because they don't have a washer and dryer. So the fact that you're complaining about having to go either up or downstairs or just across from you in order to wash your clothes is really just it's a first world problem, honestly.
That was fun. I love living here, but that was a frustration. I was patient though. It's totally fine. Anyways, welcome to a new vlog. Hello.
I think what Ember is doing is trying to foreshadow in a not so subtle way, but it comes off as incredibly obvious to most people that she's not happy with where she's staying and she really wants to be with Tommy. So what she's going to do is kind of make any excuse to go up there and really stay there. And she did that with her ex-girlfriends too. So it's not far off the imagination of people assuming that she's going to do that. Like she did it with, I believe, Casey, Crystal, and Beck. She really forced herself way into Beck's apartment with Ricky and Eric too, I'm pretty sure. So it wouldn't be surprising that she'll eventually do that with, Emily too. So time will tell, I guess.
There's a siren as soon as I was about to film.
Honestly, I don't know if this is padding or for her just to play the victim for 2 seconds, but Jesus Christ, Amber, like, you don't need that in the video. Like, take it out. It was 2 seconds, move on, and just start another video. It happens. It happens with me all the time. I'll be filming a video, and someone starts a lawnmower or something, or a blower, or there's a crash or something in, like, one of the rooms next door or whatever. It doesn't bother me. Just start a new video, move on. It's like 2 seconds.
Okay, so if you guys remember in one of my last videos, I got the 100 envelope savings challenge for me and my mom, and
I'm really going to show my age with this, but I genuinely hate this type of stuff because it's just a trend, and it does the complete opposite of what people intend to do with it. Like, you're supposed to be saving money, which you could leave it in your bank account, and you can actually incur interest getting more money. Leaving it in a pocketbook, essentially, to really incur money or whatever it is, doesn't do anything. You're also spending money on an object you don't need in order to save in the first place. Like, you're doing the complete opposite of what you're meant to be doing with the actual savings challenge. Also, it's not really a challenge for most people because that's just basic your responsibility when it comes to finances. Like, don't spend your money on stupid shit.
I gave it to her and she freaking loved it and she's so excited to use it. So I said I would explain it to you guys for those who are interested in doing it. So you literally have 100 little envelopes and they're all numbered. In each envelope, you're gonna put money corresponding with a number. So in number 1, you're gonna put $1. And number 62, you're gonna put $62. And number 99, you're gonna put $99. And you're gonna do that at your pace. This could take you 3 years to fill up, or it could take you 3 months. It just depends on your situation and the pace that you wanna go and the way that you make money and the way that you wanna save your money.
This really is just the bridge analogy in motion. Like, just don't do that. Save your money. Keep it in the bank. You don't need this crap. Amber does this not because she needs to save money. It's because it's simply just the aesthetic and being on trend with everyone else. That's all it is. If something's on TikTok, she needs to do it too.
Everyone is gonna be different. But once every single envelope is filled up, you're gonna have $5,050 in these envelopes. So as you go, when you put $51 in envelope 51, you're just gonna mark it off.
Also, why does she have to explain things as if it's in, like, dumbing down or being spoon-fed? It comes off as, like, incredibly condescending. Like, we need the information. We need how a chart works to be explained to us. Like, we know how it works. Once you do something, you mark it off. Like, we all know how, like, that works. Why is she talking down to us like we're a toddler and she's like the teacher? I need to explain how to count our 1, 2, 3s.
I have not added any money in here, so I wanted you guys to be with me for the first time that I do. So let's go in my purse. Oh my God, you guys, I'm obsessed with this purse. Like, I literally wear it even if it doesn't even match my outfit. Like, I just don't care. So I currently only have 20s, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 120 to my 20 envelope. I was gonna add 2 more 20s to like my 40 envelope, or maybe even 3 20s to my 60, but I don't want to get all crazy. Okay, I just want to do the 20 right now.
I think the best way to explain her fashion style would be between like a bird and like a preteen girl. Bright colors, gemstones, sparkly things, and like metallic colors. Like that's basically Amber's entire aesthetic. And it's like, it is just the most horrendous styles ever. Like anything that's bright and shiny, she immediately gets drawn to it like a moth to a flame. And like the fake like bedazzled jewels and stuff like that, it's just it's horrendous. And like I know that I don't have a fashion style, but God, even I'm better than that, Amber.
All right, you guys, so let's go to the 20. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Like, I love stuff like this. I don't know about y'all, but fold it up.
No, Amber, this is not exciting, this is not fun, this is not interesting. This is dead ass a 80-year-old woman's life. Like, you are straight up going to bingo, going to a restaurant, then going home and putting money in your pocketbook. That is what my grandmother used to do before she passed. Also, she used to drink a lot, so if you want, you could probably fill in for her now that she's gone.
And there it is. So now I mark it off and I know that I've already completed that one.
Right now, I'm in between feeling bad for her and, like, honestly trying, like, the teacher approach and being like, good job, Amber, here's a gold star.
There we go.
Something that I find interesting is that Amber didn't fully color in the circle, and I don't have OCD, but I do have OCD tendencies because of my autism. And something that is really prominent is not being able to fully put a task to rest without completing it first. So her coloring in a circle but not fully coloring it in is interesting because you wouldn't be able to put that task to rest if you have OCD. And I'm not saying that's probably for all people, but that would be like 99% of people with OCD would not be able to finish that. And even people without OCD, they would want to fully color the circle in. So Amber doing that is just it kind of makes me wonder if she really does have OCD or OCPD like she claims.
Okay, you guys, it is the next day. I still have not opened my new luggage or anything, so I need to do that. But like, I was sitting here and I was like, I never looked on the inside of my new suitcase. And for me, that's important because last time I bought a suitcase, I also made that mistake and I looked on the inside once I got home and it was not my aesthetic. So let's have a look-see together.
The aesthetics of a functionality is just weird because most people would be the complete opposite. They would care about how much space there is in it, what compartments are in it, so that way we can use and place things in there, and being able to really make traveling as easy as possible. Amber is just focusing on the fact, oh, what's the color and what's the style? Like, Amber, who cares? You're not even going to look at it that much. And honestly, once you and Tommy break up, it's not going to be something that really matters in the first place because you're just going to shove it in the corner and you're going to forget about it later.
Oh, thank God. It's literally just black. There is writing on it though, probably just the brand. It looks like this. Thank God.
That is the fakest acting I have seen from Amber, and I have seen a lot of fake acting from her. Like, there is not any inflection whatsoever on her voice. Like, it is just so deadpan monotone, and that is coming from me. Like, I have one of the most monotone and just deadpan accents and voices, and Amber just has nothing. It is just dead inside.
The zipper works so good because, again, the suitcase that I actually have just is not good. The wheels aren't good. The zippers aren't good. It's not even that cute of a suitcase. Like, what was I thinking?
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say that the color and style would probably be something that you liked back then. The wheels probably don't work because you either leaned on it or you put your weight on it, so they were locking up and probably breaking. And the zipper, my guess is you either sat on it or you probably pushed on it, which caused the zipper to misalign and not work properly.
I also need to find my scissors because this doodad will not come off without one. Fun. Where did I put my scissors? Let's go on the scissor hunt.
Scissor hunt, is that what you call it every time you open Instagram to find a new girlfriend?
By the way, do you guys like my mesh? The spider webs? I think it's so cute. So I just have it on under this like black dress. I love mesh.
All right, so I looked up the difference between mesh and lace because I didn't really understand what the difference was and if the words were interchangeable. Turns out it's just the material is used. Like cotton and nylon is typically used for lace, where mesh requires a larger, more sturdier fabric, which I laughed so hard at that, not because it's a slight at Amber, but because Amber is wearing it and she calls it mesh.
All right, scissors, where art thou? Literally found them immediately. So obviously, since I bought luggage, that does mean I am traveling. I haven't like traveled in a hot minute. I mean, I traveled to get here, obviously, but that wasn't like a vacation. That was literally just me coming here to move here, which I don't know if I consider that to be the same thing.
I mean, the difference is that you're traveling to live in an area, so there is a very big difference between traveling for fun and pleasure and traveling in order to live in a new area because you need your mother to take care of you.
This is so cute. It literally comes with this tiny little bag. I don't know if I'll actually use it, but adorbs. But yeah, you know, traveling at my size is kind of hectic, kind of scary, but kind of gonna be worth it. And I am very excited. Literally all of this was shoved into this bag. And you guys, I got so excited when I saw these little bubbly doodads, and it's not the ones that pop.
Doesn't she also have trypophobia where you have an aversion to dots or holes? Like, why would you want to play with bubble wrap? That would be the complete opposite of something you would want to do for having a phobia.
They don't pop, so I don't get the satisfaction. Rarity's already trying to play and sniff. She's like, what is going on right now? I have been getting so many people mentioning Nikocado Avocado to me, asking like, when is that going to be me? Is he going to be your trainer since you were his dietitian? What do you think of his weight loss? Like, oh my God.
I mean, we all agree when Amber says, so many people are messaging me, she means that people are either shit-talking her in the comments or nobody's actually mentioning it and she wants to mention it herself. Like, she says these things, but nobody's really doing it.
So if you don't know the backstory between me and Nikocado Avocado, him and I used to be friends, or what I considered friends. Like, we would literally text. We would talk about personal things in our lives, ask each other advice. It's what I considered a friendship. And he wanted to collab with me, asked me multiple times, like,
yeah, that's not a friendship. That is a business transaction between two people. Like, you are having an interaction in which you are going to be making content off of each other. And I wouldn't call that a friendship because a friendship would be like, hey, you're both morbidly obese. Let's not do that. It's not a good idea to be eating food for monetary gain. A parasocial relationship between two influencers is more accurate, I would say. I would say more business transaction, if anything. And it's really just you, Alexis, Foodie Beauty, and Nikocado Avocado doing all the same things. You're making money off of each other because you're all terrible people who use other people for your own just benefit. You don't care about other people or how they feel or act. You just want to make money off of them, which is disgusting in my opinion. You're all trash. And the thing that genuinely irks me is this character or perception that he has created and making a parody out of important things that should be talked about in society and really just making a mockery of them. Like, we're talking about EDs, we're talking about domestic abuse, we're talking about gay relationships and the perception of how a lot of bigoted people perceive us already, and he's making a mockery out of those things. And like, yeah, sure, it's comedy, it's fun, and maybe a parody, it's fake, but when you're slapping at your partner and you have people outside of the relationship looking at it and going, this is why we shouldn't allow gay people to have rights, which I see a lot of those comments and a lot of people using it as ammunition in order to justify their bigotry. We have a hard enough time dealing with those issues in society without people creating more stuff simply to get attention and money. And on top of that, the domestic idea is like, it's a terrible thing to create entertainment out of domestic abuse. Like, we shouldn't be glamorizing that. We shouldn't be glamorizing eating disorders either.
This was back 2019, 2020, and I just wasn't ready. I didn't feel like at my best. And it's like, I really liked him. And I was like, I don't want him to meet me like this, especially like 2019 Amberlynn, like, was hectic. 2020, COVID was happening. I got diagnosed with cancer. Like, just a lot was happening. So I would always tell him, yeah, we can collab, but I'm just not ready yet. And I don't know really like what switched in him, but one day, like, he made a video like insinuating that I lied about cancer. And then from that point on, he would take things that I would do or say like in my YouTube videos and like exaggerate them to like the millionth degree, like pretty much like making fun of me.
All right, so I want to take a middle ground approach because a lot of people are saying whether or not she has cancer, and it's very 50-50 in the sense that it's either yes, she had cancer, no, she had cancer. I think it's sort of in the middle. And the reason why I think it's in the middle is because Amber has a way of taking a nugget of truth and then trying to turn it into something that it really isn't. She's like exaggerating the story to make it sound more important or worse than it is to make herself a victim. I think this was actually one of the times where she was genuinely lying in a way that she didn't intend to. Like she was lying, but she didn't intend to lie. I think she was in such an emotionally stressed situation, and she jumped from I have precancerous cells to I have cancer. And that's my opinion. I believe that she had precancerous cells in which they preemptively take out her uterus by hysterectomy so that way it would prevent her from getting cancer. And she was not in the emotional state to really allow herself to understand the situation as a whole. And so she jumped from precancerous cells to I have cancer. Now, yes, that technically would be a lie, but I don't think she intended it to be a lie. I just think she's not intelligent enough to understand the situation, and she was not in the emotional state to allow herself to really understand what was happening in that situation. Because she genuinely looked surprised and freaked out. Like, that was a genuine reaction from her. I don't think that she could have really broken out that award-winning act as a fake. Like, I believe that was actually true. And with the Nikocado Avocado situation, I don't think I've actually seen the video, but I have seen snippets of it. So I think that he didn't outright say she was a liar. I think he was more so hinting at it or heavily implying it, which, yeah, is a shitty thing to do because ultimately we don't know whether or not it's true or not. Like, she could be lying or she could be telling the truth, or it could be somewhere in the middle, like I just said. And I think we should really have a level of skepticism and keep our opinion to ourselves. We can critique it in a way, but not outright calling someone a liar. Like, and yes, we all know that Amber does lie, but we should at least hold that critique and still have a level of respect while actively doing it, because it is cancer at the end of the day, and it's a very sensitive and serious topic to talk about.
Which I don't mind that. Like, humor in that regard, trolling in that regard, it's like whatever to me. Like, thank you for finding me that entertaining, that you want to like use some of my traits into your videos. Like, thanks, I guess.
Oof, Amber, you really showed your cards just then, because that type of response proves that you were in fact very upset about it because you thought he was a friend and he was turning you into a parody. So you tried to play it off cool, but no, that was... God, that really just showed your entire hand.
It's the part where he insinuated I lied about cancer. That's the part where pretty rough. Like, he has a large audience. People contacted me, thousands of people, just whether it be in other YouTube videos, reaction channels, comments on his video, my video, reaction channels, videos, DMs to me, it doesn't matter. Like, there were thousands of people under the impression that I lied about cancer, and that's not okay.
Yeah, and that's more so the reason why I say reserve judgment until information comes out, because you can't falsely accuse someone of something that you don't know whether or not she is lying about it. And again, I believe it was in the middle, so I'm not saying that she was lying, I'm not saying that she is lying, I'm saying that's just my personal opinion, and I believe that even though she did technically lie, I think that it was a genuine reaction caused from emotional distress. Now, again, just an opinion. Not saying that it's true, that's simply just how I perceived it.
And a lot of people said it was because of Nikocado Avocado saying that. And if that many people can watch that video and put two and two together, then it's enough to make me be like, wow.
I believe what she's doing right now is also another stretching of the truth. She's saying thousands, but I don't think it may have been thousands. It may have been dozens, maybe been hundreds, but I don't even think it's thousands. And what she keeps doing is looking off to the left and smacking her lips and putting like inflections on certain words when she ends a sentence, and she does that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when she lies. So I think again what she's doing is stretching the truth by saying it's thousands of people. I don't think it may have been thousands, I think it may have been dozens or maybe even hundreds, but I don't know about thousands.
That's a pretty shitty thing to do. So regarding his weight loss, I just want to say that I am proud of him. I know losing weight is super hard. I have no idea how he did it.
All right, I want to say this in the most non-condescending way possible, but a lot of people perceive it to be hard. And I think the reason why a lot of people think weight loss is hard is not because of the physical aspect. They really don't bother to work on their mental health. They immediately jump into something thinking that it's going to be easier to do if they can, do X, Y, and Z. We'll give ourselves cheat days and be able to really allow ourselves to have, accommodations to certain foods and stuff like that. The issue isn't the physical aspect, it is more so the mental aspect. If you have not addressed the issues of why you overeat, or why you have an eating disorder, or why you binge, or why you crave foods or use them as coping mechanisms or whatever it may be, you are going to struggle 100%. And I talked about how I had to go cold turkey because I fall in like bad behaviors. I kept failing because I didn't address my mental health, and that allowed me to sort of fall into the bad behaviors and justify it. Do your mental health work, and you will be so much better when it comes to dealing with cravings. If you can deal with the cravings and talk yourself through it, you will do so much better. Sometimes you're going to fail. I completely understand that. I still have days where I fail too. But once you work through the mental health and your coping mechanisms and all the stuff you need in order to rationalize yourself through those, tough times during your journey, you will have such an easier time, I can assure you. There were situations in the third and fourth week, I shit you not, I could smell food 2 streets away being cooked. 2 streets away. I'm like, oh shit, someone down the street is cooking a goddamn barbecue right now. I could smell goddamn hamburgers being made. People did not believe me, and then they would go and check for me, and that shit was happening. That's how bad it was. The room would spin, I would shake uncontrollably, I would crash so hard because of the sugar crashes, I would black out. That's how bad some of the cravings got. But the moment I really focused in on my mental health and gave myself tips and tricks to really work through the cravings and overcome those things, it was so much easier on me. I can assure you. I felt like once I got over the addiction, even though I hadn't really lost any weight, I felt 100 pounds lighter. Like, it is crazy how much better you feel once you get out of that addiction.
I just knew that he was always pretty smart about things. He knew how to play the YouTube game 100%. And I always knew he was going to do something like this. But like this extreme, I'm shocked. But I'm proud.
My opinion of Nick is that he's playing a character that's sort of like a hurt businessman. Like, he started off with him being genuine, but then shifted into something that was sort of fake and played up for the cameras. And it started working for him. He got the attention, the validation, the money and stuff he needed because people love train wrecks. So he focused on that aspect. And when he eventually hit his rock bottom and he wanted to change his life, he was like, all right, we will preemptively film a bunch of stuff so that way I can keep releasing it, keeping the revenue stream going, the attention coming in, and, the validation I need. So that way when people are watching my content, they'd be focused on that while I can focus on losing weight, bettering myself, and, coming back to YouTube. So he was creating a sideshow of all this fake content that he preemptively filmed, and while he was actively doing that, he was focusing in the background to better himself. I don't think he intended to do that. I think it was more so of a cover, so that way if he did fail, no one would really notice, and that he would keep the attention and validation going with all the content, so that if he came back after he failed, it didn't really matter, no one would know about it. But at the same time, if he did succeed, it would be such a wild thing like it already is. Like, people have gone crazy about it because he lost so much weight. So I think it's sort of like a twofold thing. One, he needed the attention and the validation to keep coming in, so he obviously preemptively filmed. And two, he wanted to make sure that if he failed, no one would really know about it because he couldn't take that injury and he didn't want that hit to his ego. So he really focused on himself and really gave it the best shot, which, props to him, he lost a massive amount of weight, and I can respect that.
Do I like him as a person because of what he did to me? No. Can people change and apologize and move on? Yes. But do I think he's ever going to do that? I have no idea. Like, sure, he's different physically, but that doesn't mean he's a different person.
I don't necessarily think that people change when they lose weight. I think it's more so the fact that them losing weight creates an ego to allow them to be the person that they naturally are. I think that when you are overweight, especially when you're morbidly obese, that you have such a sensitivity to it that you create restraints and like a false pretense to who you naturally are. You're going to want to be kinder, so that way people are kinder to you, because a lot of people really are very shallow in that way. And when you are skinnier and you lose that weight, people are going to naturally treat you better because they're going to perceive you as less of a slob or disgusting or, lazy or whatever it is. So you're going to create an ego around losing weight. And so your natural traits of who you really are as a person are going to come to the surface, and you're just going to be a shitty person when you lose all the weight. That's just how a lot of people act. I don't think it's that they suddenly change. It's that was always who they were as a person, but they were putting a falsehood on in order to get people to like them in the first place. I think the best way to explain this is a situation in which my history teacher taught us, and I think this was a really good assignment. He had an assignment in which he gave all of the students basically a day in which they had more perks than everyone else. And essentially that would give us the ability to have a higher privilege than everyone else in the class. And so what it would do was give us the ability to really be our most inner selves. And so at the end of the assignment, he really pointed out the things that we did wrong or the things that we did right. So if you as an individual are a kind person, you're going to use that in order to benefit other people and respect other people, regardless of the power you hold. If you're a negative person and you don't have the power back then, but you are pretending to be kind, when you get the power, you're going to be disrespectful and you're going to use it to essentially belittle other people. It comes to having that power imbalance and respecting other people and continuing to be that virtuous person that you've always been, in comparison to really being a shitty person that never had power, getting power, and then treating people like shit.
Always proud of anybody, like no matter if I like them, dislike them, love them, hate them, whatever. Like I'm proud of anybody improving themselves. But I am curious, how did he do it? How long did it take? Like I low-key would love like if he made like a video, like a documentary why is that word so weird? I'd love if he made like a documentary of like how he did it and like how he is always 2 steps ahead and like played the YouTube game. Like that would be cool to watch. I think
there is a lot of speculation. Me personally, I don't really care. Like, it would be cool to know, but like either way, if he never ever comes out and says it, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. Like, if you want to lose weight through hard work or through medication or through weight loss surgery or something that may benefit you, go for it. Like, if it's within your resources, it's safe, it's able to help you, give you a better quality of life, I don't care what you do. Like, as long as you're healthy, you're happy, and you're just living a better life, go for it, honestly.
there's like a big misconception about like fat people not being proud of other fat people for losing weight, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, Amberlyn.
Except that's not a misconception, because that actively happens in the fat acceptance community all the time. Like, there are people who are overweight, who are celebrities or influencers, who actively lose weight, and people attack them for it. Like, are we forgetting about Rebel Wilson or Adele? Like, people attack them because of that. There are people who attacked Lizzo for starting to lose weight. There are people attacking, what's her name, that chick I really dislike? Tess Holiday for losing weight. There are people who will attack random strangers for losing weight. They take it as a personal attack and then attack them with every insecurity that they themselves have by projecting it onto other people. There are people who have prosthetic legs who gain 10 to 15 pounds and start getting severe pains in their legs because of their prosthetics are not low rated for their current weight. So they had to lose a little bit of weight so that way they don't have to get a medical bill in order to fix their prosthetic legs. And people will attack them for it. That is how bad some people are. Like, it's not a misconception, it actively happens.
Is probably jealous or whatever it may be, but like no, like I'm like the complete opposite of that. Like I root for other fat people to live their freaking best life, and if that's losing weight and you're doing it, then like I'm proud of you. I'm Amberlyn Reed.
Are we going to forget about the times in which you have taken pleasure in knowing fact that someone is overweight or bigger than you? Like, you actively point out someone else who is bigger than you in order to make yourself feel better. So let's not pretend like you're that kind of person, because you are a shitty person overall, Amber.
So when I went to TJ Maxx the other day, I did not find everything that I was looking for. One of the things was like a hygiene bag for when I travel. So I was actually able to get one off of Amazon. It hasn't gotten here yet, but while I got that, I also got some like containers. This is like to carry my shampoo and conditioner, and then to carry like just things that like are in a big package and I don't feel like having like the whole package. Lotions, or like there's a body wash I use where it's like a big container, so I'm just gonna add it to these. These are honestly so cute. I genuinely love the colors, and there were so many different colors, but this is just my aesthetic.
Amber is the type of person to not really cater to herself or her needs, so she's not going to have anything that isn't generic. Like, she's not going to have some super expensive shampoos or conditioners or hair serums or lotions or ointments or anything like that. She's going to have the most basic, generic, and cheap stuff that you can throw in a cart and just go. So Tommy's going to have all that stuff there, and if she doesn't, you can just go to the local Walmart and get all that stuff there anyway. So I don't know why she needs all this stuff. It's like the aesthetic of traveling. That's all it is. She doesn't care about the logistics of, you know, making traveling easier. She just wants the aesthetics of traveling.
I'm either like, I want stuff with black and gray, or I want stuff with pink. Like, there's no in between. Because the hygiene bag I got is actually very similar to this. That's why I chose these colors. And honestly, I'm a little sad that this bag is white and this one's black, but it is what it is. So I do want to end this vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.